Week 3. Day 15, on constant improvement. Knowledge has to be improved, challenged, and increased constantly, or it vanishes. Peter Drucker. Just like knowledge, you can't take self-discipline for granted. Unfortunately, being a self-disciplined person isn't a one-and-done kind of thing. Once you have learned how to live that way, you can still lose it if you don't consistently strengthen it by setting new challenges and rejecting instant gratification in favor of bigger future rewards. Never assume that you're disciplined enough. There's always a new area in which you can improve your self-control and further expand your comfort zone. For example, regular exercise poses no challenge for my self-discipline. In order to strengthen it, I need to set bigger and bigger exercise-related challenges for myself. Instead of focusing on fitness, I can also find a new area in which my discipline is lacking, such as developing more patience when dealing with other people, and focus on improving it until it's no longer a test for my resolve. Such consistent practice ensures that you're at least maintaining your level of self-control, and ideally always getting better at it. Day 16, on self-reliance. A man then must stand erect, not be kept erect by others. Marcus Aurelius. There's no doubt that surrounding yourself with people who support your goals is helpful. It's easier to exercise with a friend, diet along with your spouse, or belong to a community of frugal people. However, as Marcus Aurelius says, you need to beware of relying too much on others. If the only reason why you exercise is because you're doing it with a friend, the moment they drop it, you'll likely revert to the old ways, too. If you're on a diet only because you want to lose weight to attract this beautiful friend of a friend, the moment you learn they're in a relationship or aren't interested in you, your self-control will be gone. If you're productive at work only because you're afraid of your boss, how likely will you be to exhibit productivity when they aren't around? Your motivators should always start with you and your own resolve to make changes. External support can be valuable, but just like a person recovering from an injury isn't fully recovered if they can't stand without a crutch, you aren't self-disciplined enough unless you can still stick to your resolutions even without the help of other people. Day 17, on rising from the ashes of failure. A setback has often cleared the way for greater prosperity. Many things have fallen only to rise to more exalted heights. Seneca the Younger. No matter how self-disciplined you are, there's no escaping the fact that sometimes you'll stumble. Perhaps you'll eat a piece of a cake instead of a salad. Maybe you'll skip a workout out of laziness. It's possible that when your efforts result in a failure, you'll lose the self-discipline to continue and revert back to your old undesirable habits. It's all par for the course, and the sooner you accept it, the easier it will be to handle the setbacks once they occur. However, don't consider your failures a useless waste of time and energy. A failure can often present new opportunities or lead to important realizations. I failed to learn how to play tennis despite putting considerable amount of time, energy, and money into it. However, this made me realize that I wanted to concentrate on rock climbing, and the failure with tennis cleared the way for dramatic improvements in my climbing performance. When discouraged, remember that all struggles present opportunities that, given enough time, you can convert into successes or lessons that will aid you in other areas of life. Day 18, on higher standards. Hold yourself responsible for a higher standard than anybody else expects of you. Never excuse yourself. Never pity yourself. Be a hard master to yourself, and be lenient to everybody else. Henry Ward Beecher. The only standards that should concern you are your own standards. If you act in accordance with the standards of the majority of people, you'll be overweight, unfit, unhealthy, lazy, hating your job, not having enough time for your family, and in debt. I sometimes get flack for my goals. You're already slim. Why do you still watch your diet? Why do you save so much money? You should live it up. Can't you live like a normal person, instead of waking up at 5 a.m. and going to sleep as early as 8 p.m.? By the standards of the person criticizing me, I should have stopped improving myself a long time ago. According to my standards, the growth should never end. I always hold myself responsible for a higher standard, and this allows me to maintain success-friendly habits in my life and achieve even more success. If you allow yourself to have low standards, how are you supposed to ever achieve excellence? Exhibiting self-control is one of the most powerful demonstrations of having high standards. Letting fleeting emotions and urges control your life, as most people do, is a surefire path to mediocrity. Day 19, on fighting well. The important thing in the Olympic Games is not to win, but to take part. The important thing in life is not triumph, but the struggle. The essential thing is not to have conquered but to have fought well. Pierre de Coubertin. Nobody will ever give you any grades for your level of self-discipline. There's no finish line and there's no podium for the winners. The only purpose of building self-discipline is to conquer yourself, your own urges, your own weaknesses, and your own self-sabotaging behaviors. It's easy to forget this fact and assume that when you reach your goals you're done. In fact, the moment you make your dreams come true isn't the most important moment. It's important, no doubt, but without the process leading to it, in itself it means little. The most important moments are the moments of struggle, when you're striving to fight even when you can barely stand and the whole world is spinning around you. It's this very act that proves your mettle and showers you with life-encompassing benefits, not the act of winning in itself. Whenever you find yourself frustrated that you're still a long way from the finish line, remember that it's right now, at this very moment, that you're collecting the biggest rewards. It's the struggle in itself that improves you and makes you a more successful person. Day 20, on taking small steps. We should discipline ourselves in small things, and from their progress to things of greater value. If you have a headache, practice not cursing. Don't curse every time you have an earache. And I'm not saying that you can't complain, only don't complain with your whole being. Epictetus. Rome wasn't built in a day, and you won't build self-discipline overnight. If you've never been particularly disciplined, start small with easy challenges and then build on top of them. Epictetus suggests a simple exercise of not complaining when you feel unwell. To make the first step even easier, he says that you don't even have to immediately stop complaining at all, just stop complaining with your whole being. Could you do it just for today? Once you successfully go one day without complaining with your whole being, how about 2 days? 3 days? A week? A month? Could you then add other little challenges and consistently strengthen your willpower? Other simple practices you can implement to begin building more self-discipline include resisting the temptation to yell in anger when another driver does something that irks you. Eating just slightly less than you'd like to eat, like 1 square of a chocolate or 1 potato chip less. Working for just 1 minute longer when you're ready to call it a day. Work on several such little challenges and soon you'll gain more self-control and be able to progress to bigger changes. Day 21, on the importance of habits. Success is actually a short race, a sprint fueled by discipline just long enough for habit to kick in and take over. Gary Keller. Habits are like magical powers. The moment they kick in, you no longer need more than perhaps a modicum of self-discipline every now and then to continue performing the same action on a regular basis. What originally was extremely difficult to do is now something you largely do automatically, with little thought or willpower. When something becomes a part of your routine, resistance drops to nearly zero. The challenging part is forming a new habit. Research suggests that it takes anywhere from 18 to 254 days 21 to form a new habit, with 66 days being the average time, not 21 days, as the common knowledge goes. When working on your goals, remind yourself that it's the first months that will be the hardest. Once the proper habits kick in, things will get easier. Remember that in the long term, only habits, and their subsequent permanent changes in lifestyle and identity, can ensure lasting success. Consequently, it's key to think in terms of lifelong routines. As long as you're jumping from one 2-week diet to another instead of establishing new nutritional habits, you're destined to regain weight. As long as you're switching between different 6-week workout programs to lose some weight, and not thinking of exercise as a permanent part of your weekly routine, sooner or later, you'll revert to inactivity. Analyze your goals and assess whether your plans employ self-discipline to help you build a habit or if you're using self-control as a means of temporarily sustaining a new permanent change.